In this video, Dr. Jordan Peterson explains why high-achieving women have a hard time finding a partner.
On the other hand, what's your advice to high-achieving females for finding a man? That's a tough one. See, the problem that high-achieving women have, and I've dealt with a lot of them, because first of all, I have a clinical practice, as most of you may know, and I also had a consulting practice, and one of the things, they were kind of mixed, but one of the things I did for a long time was I served as a consultant to people who were spectacularly successful in their careers, because I worked with an agency whose sales pitch basically to the companies or the law firms, because it was mostly law firms, was give us your really high achieving people and we'll help them sort out their lives even more and make them even more productive and valuable than they already are. And you don't need much of an increment in the value of someone who's high achieving to justify that from an economic perspective. So I worked with a lot of high achieving people for like 15 years, and I still do it to some degree. And a lot of them were women, and a lot of them were female lawyers. And they were very interesting to work with because most of them were extremely attractive, and they were very, very smart, and they were tough. And they were very demanding when it came to a mate, because women do tend to mate across and up dominance hierarchies. And if you're like very attractive and you're very intelligent and you make a lot of money and you're very competent, it's like there's not a lot that's across and there's even less that's up. And so that's hard on women. And it actually, the way that actually works out is that, especially with regards to IQ for women, is that the higher the IQ that a woman has, the less likely it is that she's going to find a partner. And the effect is actually quite pronounced. And so that's pretty rough. What's my advice? Well, the first piece of advice probably would be don't pretend that it's not important, because it is important. And the next piece of advice I would say is, and this is practically speaking, is it's a lot easier now for people to find at least a potential partner than it was 20 years ago, because you have this tremendous technology that's available with regards to opening up the dating market. And I would say finding the right mate is like finding a good career, the next good career move. I know that's not a great analogy, but a huge part of that is just persistence. You have to kiss a lot of frogs before you find a prince. I suppose that's one way of thinking about it. And then I guess I would also say that's really about the best I can do, man. It's a really complicated question. Look for someone that loves you and that wants to take care of you and that is oriented to some degree towards the same things that you are. That's also helpful. But apart from the earlier things I said about attractiveness and truth, that's about the best I can do. It's a very complicated question.